Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Low Season Traveller Insider Guides. I'm Jed Brown, your host for this week's episode, and today we're bringing you once again to beautiful Barbados in this second special episode. We were recently invited over to Barbados by our wonderful partners at Barbados Tourism to experience the low season on the island for ourselves. We had to fit in quite a lot, but we recorded our final thoughts on the last day of our trip before heading out to the wonderful Primo Restaurant at St Laurence Gap. This is the second part of our overview, and we will be releasing a lot more content which we recorded in the coming weeks. Have a listen and let us know what you think. Enjoy. So, good evening everybody from beautiful Barbados. It's Jed Brown here from Low Season Traveller and Kevin Brown.
Hello.
We are on day 6 of our low season journey to Barbados. It's been an incredibly busy few days, as anybody who's been following this will see. We just thought we'd give you an update on the past 2 days. So today is Sunday, and the most important thing for you to note is in the background, hopefully you can make it out, and that's why we're dark, because we wanted to show you the background. It is indeed raining, which is very low season, still very warm for sure, but it does rain. You'll have seen a lot of footage that we've taken. In fact, most of the footage that we've taken has been sunny.
It's been mainly sunny. I mean, it hasn't rained the last couple of days, really.
It hasn't, yeah. We saw it on the first day,
Yeah.
and then it's rained a bit today. The forecast was rain all day today, all day tomorrow,
Yeah.
and 3 days.
I think it rained 3 times 10 minutes before the downpour we've had about an hour ago that started.
It was incredible. We just had, we had a massive downpour, and there's a bit of thunder as well.
Yeah.
And now, actually, it looks pretty clear. It looks like it's stopped, to be honest.
Hopefully.
And again, like we've said before, it doesn't affect anything. There is somebody out there in the sea having a swim because, of course, it's gloriously warm. And yeah, like we keep saying, the fact that it's low season, it doesn't affect the experience.
No,
actually, we've spoken to quite a few people. There's been people over here from Canada, from the US, from the UK, of course, quite a lot from the UK. And they've all just said, it's an absolutely fabulous experience.
Yep.
They wouldn't change it. They got some great deals. We will show you in other videos on YouTube and on the Low Season Traveller website a little bit more about this particular property that we're in. It's called the Southern Palms. Wonderful property, very authentic. The Wi-Fi is a bit crappy, I'll be very honest about that. The Wi-Fi is a bit crappy.
It's good reception.
However, if you're looking for digital detox, it's probably perfect. We weren't looking for digital detox, so it was a little bit frustrating. But other than that, it is a wonderful, wonderful property. There's great prices at the moment for July with the likes of BA Holidays, Qoni and all those kind of guys, starting off at about £1,174 per person for 7 nights, which I would say is pretty good value. That's bed and breakfast. And it's good breakfast, lovely and friendly. I can tell you that the hotel at the moment is about sort of 30% occupied. It's nice and quiet. They have steel bands playing. This afternoon there was a steel band playing, which was fab actually. Just created a nice bit of atmosphere. So the past 2 days, Kev, update. What were we doing yesterday? Because
He always has to do this because he can't remember.
It
does
all blend into one. We've fitted so much in, it tends to blend into one.
So yesterday was, you put me on the spot now. I haven't been noticed before. Yesterday was Saturday. Catamaran. Yes. So we went out. We were picked up at about 8:15, I think it was. And went out to Bridgetown, to the port, and took the catamaran cool running. Out for a lovely trip a day. The weather was fantastic, not a drop of rain. We went as soon as we boarded the ship. He said the bar is open. There was a great big bar in the centre, and you could drink as much as you wanted, and many people did, non-stop the whole time. And then we arrived very quickly at a first mooring point, where we were swimming with turtles.
Yeah, which was lovely. So, and it didn't take us very long to get there. It was about.
I drank this much of my first punch.
So they said the bar's open, so you're thinking, great, we'll have a cocktail, and yeah, within 10 minutes they're like, okay, this is the first stop. The pool's open, guys, jump in. Swam with turtles. It was great, and it was great to swim with the turtles that come very close to you. I will say this, because there was 2 of these cool runnings run 2 catamarans, maybe they have more. So altogether there must have been about 50 people between the 2 boats. maybe 60. And there'd be a guy in the water saying, "There's a turtle here," and everybody would flock to him. And it felt very low season traveller to be following the crowd.
I banked heads at least twice with
Yeah.
different people because I was looking down.
It gets a little bit crowded, and you just think, is this the experience that I really want? So I naturally, me being me, I swam away from them completely, and I figured I'll see what else is there. There was puffer fish, there was all kinds of other fish around about, and actually, then after a while, the turtle came near me, and it was great, and I had this turtle to myself just swimming around, so that was really cool. Then we set sail again for about another hour maybe, and we went round to.
I think before then we saw the wrecks.
Oh yeah, sorry, we saw the wrecks. Yeah, that was it. They said the next stop is the wrecks. That was literally about
10 minutes.
If that, 10 minutes later. Incredible, really, because the wrecks are in relatively shallow water, so perfect for snorkeling. There's all kinds of coral life and reef life on them, and yeah, it was fabulous. I've never done a wreck dive or anything,
No.
and it was great. And the guys, for anybody that's not as confident swimming, they give you either flotation vests, which aren't too restrictive either. They're very sort of thin, or floats. So they really do look after everybody, and that was a great experience.
Yeah.
It's telling me the device is disconnected, but I'm just going to crack on. So then after that,
we went a good hour.
we went a good hour, and we put the sails up, and we went sailing, and then we went to it was near Sandy Lane, which is very, very famous property, very expensive property if you look it up on any of the tour operators.
Where Rihanna and Simon Cowell say apparently.
Yeah, apparently so. And it's a lovely, lovely beach. It's very white, powdery sand, turquoise waters. Yeah, really, really first class. And what they do then is they drop down the steps at the front of the catamaran, and you just jump in, go swimming, do diving. They serve lunch, which was a lovely lunch. We had their chicken, fish, all that kind of stuff. They play their music. I wasn't that keen on their music myself. It's very much a party feel. It's a party
And
feel.
everybody's drinking the whole time as well.
Personally, if I was doing it again, I would prefer more of a chilled out cruise with music that's a little bit more chilled out, so you could really have time to contemplate. Because it's beautiful scenery, and it's really worthwhile. So overall, it was a fantastic morning. We were out for a good 4 or 5 hours. It cost $100 to go. The company's called Cool Runnings, and again, we'll stick a link in the bio so you guys know where to look. The crew on board worked incredibly hard.
They were amazing.
They were brilliant,
Yeah.
and they kept the spirits up, and they were a good laugh as well.
Yeah.
Overall, wonderful experience. And again, you have to remind yourself that this is the low season. How it could be better in the high season, I've just no idea. Glorious sunny day, clear skies. I don't know what else you'd be looking for, really.
We both got a little bit sunburned, I think, despite putting sun cream on.
You need to be so
The
careful.
weather was really good.
Yeah. So that was that for yesterday. We had quite an easy day. We came back.
Came back, got a little bit of a swim.
Yeah, again it stayed dry and sunny.
Yeah, it's lovely.
So it was just a fine
And
day.
then resting. It was exhausting actually, that ride.
Yeah, it was
With
actually.
the swimming around and stuff.
Yeah.
And the sea out.
And then last night we went for a fabulous meal.
Yes.
In a great restaurant.
My new favourite restaurant here. I've gone through so many.
Yeah, there's been, every time you go to one of these restaurants, you're like, oh, that's my favourite. The Rooftop Restaurant, by absolute chance, Fusion Rooftop Restaurant. Thank you. By absolute chance, when we first went in, we had a drink to start us off, and by chance we met with one of the main investors and owners of the restaurant. It wasn't planned. We just got lucky. He's a British guy, and he was a lovely guy. He was telling us how he's opening another restaurant. He was saying how it's great what we're doing for low season travel. He said because Barbados is wonderful in the low seasons, and more people need to know it and see it and learn about it.
I think he said it's 220 days of sunshine a year. It's the best place in the world to learn surfing.
Yes,
He's
yeah,
been learning to surf. You've got like beginner waves, but you've also got, it's joining the circuit of the world-class
World Surfing League.
events.
Yeah, they're trying to get into the World Surfing League on the official calendar. So that should be great. And yeah, we've done a separate interview with our man Brian Talmer,
Yeah.
who is a windsurf champion, and a fascinating character actually. And he was saying exactly the same. Great for surfing, great to learn to surf as well. The restaurant itself, it's on the top of a shopping mall.
centre.
Yeah, shopping centre. And it's a great location. You know, you're right up there underneath the stars. It's quite open at the top as well, although they do bring the cover over occasionally. The cuisine is there's mixed. There's all kinds of variety, but they have a separate. They've got a Japanese chef. They have a separate sushi menu, sushi and sashimi menu, and that's what we went for. And we were both saying how we were always a little bit nervous outside of Japan having sushi and sashimi.
We are sushi snobs.
We sound very, very pretentious. We're aware of that. But if you're going to have sushi and sashimi, you want it done right. What we'll say is it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
it was
amazing.
Yeah. So that was that. Then this morning we had a really early start. We started at 7 a.m. I'm going to have to speak a little bit louder now because I noticed there's more noise going on. We started at 7 a.m. for our pickup, and we went to Naniki Lodge, which again is a breath of fresh air. It's in the Scotland district, which is sort of quite hilly. I'm not going to say mountainous. It's not quite mountainous, but it's very, very hilly, very, very green, very, very lush. And what's unique about that district is really the forested area.
It's the oldest part of the island, isn't
exactly.
it?
Yeah. And it was first class. We met the owner Tom, who gave us a guided hike through the forest there, and it's like a tropical rainforest.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was really something else. And he knows everything about all of the different plants, all of the wildlife, and it was really a first class experience. So that was I'm sorry, we've just been offered a drink as this lady was walking by. So that was great. We did that full walk through the forest. Then at the end of that, Tom had laid on for us a yoga retreat. So again, we got to the main building, which overlooks the Atlantic Ocean and the rainforest around town.
Fantastic view, wasn't it?
Lovely views, lovely cooling breeze. Felt the coolest we've been since we've been here. Not unpleasant, but just a very comfortable temperature. We did the yoga, which was, for me, I found that quite challenging. I'm not a yoga person. You enjoyed it, Kev? You've done yoga
I did.
before?
I've done yoga before, and this teacher was really good. And I talked to her afterwards, and she said she started doing this like more slow, stretchy type yoga, and quite a few people have said this is better than more tonic yoga. So it was great.
It was hard.
You feel it,
Yeah.
but it's not like playing a game of tennis for you or squash or something. It's not hard cardio, but you feel the stretch in your core. When you're doing it.
You do.
It was good.
It was a really good experience. But the whole thing for this particular place, for Naniki, it's all about wellness, mindfulness. He encouraged us to, when we're in the forest, he said, when you're in the forest, you feel more connected with nature. And he said, he talked about the whole concept of tree hugging. And he said, guys, please hug a tree. And he got us all to hug a tree. Felt a little bit daft at first, but actually, there's something in it. I think that it's that sort of primeval sort of spirit where you do feel a calmness. All you can hear, practically nothing you can hear apart from the sounds of nature, the wind rushing through the trees, which almost sounds like rain. It was really quite a wonderful experience, I would say.
And he was saying that forest bathing is now a thing.
Yeah.
And it's recognised. He was giving an example of somebody who had a child with, I think it was ADHD.
ADHD, yeah.
And one day, by chance, the car wouldn't work, and they walked through a forest to get to school. And he was just so much calmer during that day. And it's apparently like now recognised to have almost therapeutic type qualities, which is. I felt certainly very relaxed after it.
Yeah, I did as well. Wonderful experience. The accommodation itself, they have cottages, 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom. They could only show us a 1 bedroom, which we'll share separately on a video. If you follow our YouTube channel, we'll also post it up on Facebook, of course, and LinkedIn and all of the rest, Instagram. Really nicely done. Each has got a nice little veranda at the front, overlooking the forest and the views of the Atlantic. Hammock there, swaying. Simple, basic, but a way to just return to
nature.
Yeah, return to nature. I don't think they're probably very big on Wi-Fi or anything else there either, because that's not what it's about. It's about wellness and about being reconnected with nature. and it's in a different area. It's not near the beach or anything. There is a pool, and there is a sauna, and there's a few treatments that they do there. But it's not about being near the beach. It's about finding
up in the mountain, up in the forest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tom, the owner, who's a lovely guy and so knowledgeable, he was sort of saying, for a lot of people, if they come to Barbados, if you're going to do the beach thing, do your beach thing first and come to him last, because sometimes after the beach kind of thing and the activity and Laurence Gap and all of the bars and everything else, sometimes before you go back you need to just recenter yourself, and that's what you do at his place. And he said people come here for 2 or 3 nights at the end of their vacation and they recenter themselves and they feel an awful lot better for it. So that was that, and that basically brings us up to where we were.
Well, we got boogie boards in the hotel.
Yeah.
Free of charge included.
Yeah.
And went out and surfed the waves a little bit, which was nice.
Yeah. There's golf there. We didn't do it.
Yeah.
There's mini golf here. There's a gym. There's all of that kind of stuff at the Southern Palms. It's a great property, really great property, and the beach is fabulous. One point I will say that the people might not be aware of, we know this from Mexico. Mexico had big problems with sargassum, which is a type of seaweed, and when it comes in, the tide brings it in, you get swathes of it. Well, we had swathes of it 2 days ago. I tried to get a little bit of on film. I should have got more to show you, because it builds up into almost like a wall of sargassum. And you can still swim in the sea, but it's not as pleasant, and it smells a little bit as well. That's probably one of the challenges that Barbados faces. The guy last night, Matt, who owns the Fusion restaurant, he said that's probably the single biggest challenge that Barbados faces is sargassum.
Not just Barbados.
I think it's all the Caribbean islands are getting it as well. It doesn't affect things too much. Like I say, we had it for 2 days. It made the news here as well. And then this morning it's pretty much gone. And that's the way in which it happens. Part of that is linked to global warming. And yeah, it's something to kind of to be aware of, I suppose.
Yeah.
Not much you can do about it. And it doesn't affect anything too negatively, so I wouldn't stress too much about it.
Now again, I'd say to anybody, come in the low season. Once you pay for your flight ticket, stay 2 weeks, because it's better value.
Yeah, definitely.
Stay at 2 weeks, and you can explore the place. It's amazing. Again, so many things we've been to, hearing about restaurants and stuff you want to try, things you want to do. Even 2 weeks is too short, but it's better than one. So
2 weeks is probably the most that a lot of people can get. But
True.
you could spend longer. We've met people that have been staying here for months, and digital nomads that are out here working in places like Naniki. Why wouldn't you if they have the Wi-Fi? And there's been a few places like that. So yeah, overall, highly recommended. It's our last night tonight. We're going to the Primo Restaurant tonight,
which is literally like 5 minutes drive up the road, which is nice.
Which is great. I've got Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., who very kindly hosted us for this trip. Jens, the CEO, and Shelley, the chairwoman. They're hosting an event tomorrow morning on sustainability-focused event for Barbados. They're starting to really take sustainability issues very, very seriously here in Barbados, and putting on that event for all the local stakeholders to learn and exchange information about how they can do things more sustainably and better for the future, for planet and for people. I think it's a great initiative, and I'm looking forward to seeing that tomorrow. It'll be an early start, but that's that, and then we fly back.
Yeah, indeed. And while he's doing the sustainability, I will be here, having a last
Why
go
not?
on the beach,
Why
last
wouldn't
surf
you?
on the waves.
Yeah, why wouldn't
before
you?
we head to the airport.
Yeah, but overall, Kev, sum up your experience. Your first time in Barbados.
First time in Barbados, it has been amazing. I think, like many people, the stereotype, and I bought a postcard earlier on, and it's all about beaches and sunsets and sand and palm trees, but there is just so much more than that. The people are so welcoming, so friendly. We've talked to many people who come again and again. We ask them, why do you come back? It's the people, it's the home away from home, it's welcoming, and that seems to be the key theme. I'd come in the low season because I don't want this hotel to come back to this hotel and it to be packed, and I would just take longer and visit more. I mean, I feel that we've been all over the island.
Yeah, we have.
And yet I still feel we haven't really scratched the surface.
We didn't get to the very north. We didn't get to the northern point.
No.
There's a lot more that we could see, but you have to appreciate we can't see everything.
Yeah.
But in a week we fit it in quite a lot. But yeah, I would say, having obviously been aware of Barbados in the travel industry for the past 35 years and selling it, but never having been, it's way better than I imagined, actually. I don't know exactly what I imagined. I imagined a tropical beach place with beautiful beaches, and I don't know how else I imagined it. But there's a lot more to scratch below the surface, and there's more to Barbados. This is what I wasn't expecting. There's a heck of a lot more to Barbados than the 5-star hotels, and I think that's what we always used to sell that when I was at QONI. It was always the 5-star hotels, the sandy lanes, and speaking to a lot of the locals, they were saying that's their frustration. Is everybody that goes to those hotels, they tend to just stay in those hotels, stay on the beach, and it's been really nice to get out and about and to meet the local Bajan people who are absolutely lovely, and hear their stories, and they have got stories to tell, and everybody that we met they've had incredible insights. Learned so much.
Brian the windsurfer, Hammy, the guy that did the pottery.
Hammy, the pottery guy, he was amazing.
Gail Seal, the wife of the
guy
that runs
Foursquare
Distillery. Sasha, who sort of organised and set up Worthing Square.
Micah,
with all the food courts.
Yeah, Micah.
Walker's
Reserve.
Micah. Yes, sorry.
Walker's Reserve, she was
I'm confused. So many people, so many places. I would say, seriously, Barbados, it's more than beaches.
Yeah,
that would be my
100%. You can enjoy the beaches, but definitely to get the real gold, go out there and meet the people. But that's it. That's all we've got time for just for now, because we're going to have to go and get dinner. But this is probably going to be the last video that we'll be doing from Barbados. So thank you all for following this video series that we've been doing. If you've been following us on live on Facebook, thank you for that as well. If you haven't, they're going to be live still, and we flicked the tag where they're kept for over 30 days. Please do check them out. There's some really good lives that we've done on there as well. And that's it. Just consider Barbados during the low season months. If you haven't booked anything for this summer, give it a look. And the last point I will say is, yes, it is strictly speaking within the Caribbean. It is entering hurricane season, and you have to be aware of that. For the most part, Barbados is outside of the hurricane belt. It's not impossible a hurricane could hit here, and they had a severe storm last year. But if you were to be here during a storm, and genuinely, I would love to be here during a storm, because the low season traveller ethos is, you can find the gold in that. Because if you're here during a storm, and a few locals have said this, you feel a real oneness, you're in it together with the local Bajan people. And I think that would bring quite a unique experience in and of itself.
Sit with a rum punch and enjoy watching the storm, I'd say.
Absolutely. So that's it from us. Thank you so much once again, and we'll see you next time. Don't know where it's going to be. Hopefully somewhere cool. I'm sure it'll be awesome. But that's it for us. Thank you so much from me.
Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.
So there you have it. Next week we catch up with the super knowledgeable Tom Hinds of Naniki, Barbados, to learn more about his particular approach to nature and ecotourism on this wonderful island. The low season experience really is absolutely superb in Barbados during the summer months, and I can tell you that there are some amazing deals out there, so do check with your local travel agent. We're currently working on issue 2 of the Low Season Traveller magazine, and we're looking for your low season stories. Have you had any amazing experiences while visiting destinations during their low seasons? Perhaps you've had an amazing local interaction which simply would not have been possible in the busy peak season. Let us know your story by dropping us a line at editor@lowseasontraveller.com, and you may well find yourself in the next edition of Low Season Traveller magazine, and indeed a guest on this very show. But that's our show for this week. Thanks as always for your company. And if you enjoyed this podcast, it would mean the world to us if you could leave us a positive review on your podcast app. We know there are over 50,000 of you out there all over the world, and it would make our day to have a good review. Think of it as your good deed for the day, where you're truly making a small team really, really happy. Have a great week wherever you are. Stay healthy, stay safe. Keep your travel dreams alive, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn to be the first to hear our low season stories and guides. Finally, remember that travel is always better and fairer for the planet, the local communities and you the travellers when it's without the crowds.